country, we'd be the ninth
I'm cutting to
largest
Trump.
economy in the United States. I'm sorry, the ninth largest economy in the world. I'm a little nervous, I apologize. I don't do this every day. Manufacturing would be the ninth largest economy in the world if it was its own country. And so with that, we just want to talk. We're going to have a question and answer here for about 30 minutes. We have local business owners, manufacturing owners, and again, thank you so much for coming. Next, we have Angela Erball from the Dayton Region Manufacturers Association. And wait, I forgot. This is the greatest group of guys out here in the world. This is our team. Say hi, guys. Come on over, he says.
A little press.
All right.
Stand right behind.
What the boss says.
Yeah. Great job.
Thank you. Angela?
Sure. Mr. Trump, welcome. We're so pleased to have you here. I'm Angela Earl. I'm the president of the Dayton Region Manufacturers Association. We are just what our name says. We're the trade association serving manufacturers across the region. We have 420 member companies, and everybody here in that
Where are you going? You're going in the bullshit.
manufacturing is really not about the giants of the world. It's about a bunch of small companies making up a huge industry. In our region, we have about 2,300 manufacturers, and we have about 114,000 employees in manufacturing. And locally, I say, I remind everybody that without the virtually left.
You okay, Mark?
Just a couple more words. I know that the number one concern of all of our members, much like other manufacturers across the country, is the inability to find enough people with the right skill set. I don't know if you can address that a little bit later on, but that is the number one concern here and of all manufacturers across the country. Welcome. We appreciate your patience.
Real quick before we get started, and Mr. Trump's going to say a few other things, we have a couple special guests that came along. Coach Bobby Knight.
That if Trump played for me, I'd never let the son of a bitch shoot. I'll tell you that. He'd have to guard and rebound. That's what he'd have to do for me. But now let me tell you what he can do for us. There's nobody that's better prepared to do what that office of the presidency can have with him as president. Believe me. You talk about where we are, what we are, and how we're doing as a country, and this man has an ability beyond anybody I've ever known to solve problems. You know, he's not national, he's international, all over the world. He's had businesses, he's had people work, he's found jobs, and he's had problems like we all have. And I've really studied him, and there's no one I've ever met that has a better ability to deal with problems, to find out. Coaching basketball, you had problems. We got to figure out a way to beat the press. We got to figure out a way to beat the 2-3 zone. He's the best I've ever seen at figuring out how to do things and how to get things going in the right way. And whoever becomes the next president, I think you'll all agree, is going to inherit a hell of a lot of problems. And that guy can do something with problems, believe me. And I hope you'll all think about that. Thank you. Nice to meet you.
Thank you.
Well, I guess I get to ask the first question.
Go ahead.
Recently, we've seen a lot of effect from NAFTA, with Kerry over in Indiana taking 400 jobs, moving air conditioning to Mexico. 1,400. Just in the last couple of weeks, Ford Motor Company has announced in the next few years they're going to stop manufacturing small cars in the United States. I guess I'm trying to understand is how the Trans-Pacific Partnership is going to have similar effects to NAFTA on some of that, and what your feelings are on that.
I think TPP will be a disaster for Ohio and a disaster for our country, like all trade deals that we seem to make. You know, the deal with Korea was supposed to be such a good deal made by Hillary Clinton, essentially. Turned out to be a disaster for our country. we were going to get 100,000 jobs. We end up losing more than 100,000 jobs. So we're all bad. They don't know how to make deals. They don't know how to get people. They don't know. NAFTA is probably the worst trade deal ever made anywhere in the world. Not alone here. It wiped out 30%, 35% of your business. You go to New England and upstate New York and different places, 40, 50% of their business got wiped out. So we're going to change. And when I read about, frankly, the fact that Carrier moved right before the election, made their deal, I won Indiana. It certainly helped to have Coach Snyder as an endorser. I will tell you, when you're in Indiana, you have a guy who won 900 games and championships all over the place. He had the last undefeated team in college basketball. Just an amazing guy. Won the Olympics, won the Pan Am game, so that helped. But I'll tell you, when they read about Carrier closing up and moving, 1,400 people left, that was a big thing. We won a big landslide. Not that I'm happy about that, I understand with Carrier, because we shouldn't be losing our company. Now we lost Ford, and Ford's been moving to Mexico anyway, bigly. But now they just said their small car division. Sounds like a big division to me, but they're moving. And I just asked you, how tough has it been dealing with China and Mexico? And you said it's very unfair. Very unfair.
Very unfair.
I'm just talking. How do you feel about that? I mean, dealing with Mexico, dealing with China, they're taking their companies, they have a VAT tax, which makes it very bad. The whole thing with the double taxing. But the VAT tax, and we have a different taxation, and what's happening there, they're totally taking advantage of us. And a lot of people don't even talk about that. That's a big problem for manufacturers. What do you think, dealing with China, dealing with Mexico? Do you think it's fair?
No, how do you intend to handle the trade law enforcement?
What's your bigger problem, China or Mexico?
It has been China, but Mexico's becoming a bigger problem.
Mexico's doing very well. They're doing very well. They're building some of the biggest plants in the world. Not us. They're building some of the biggest. And China's doing it through currency manipulation, devaluation. Every time we start making little inroads, they go boom, and they devalue. It's going to be so easy. It's going to be so easy. For one thing, if they want it cheap, they're going to have to pay tax to get their product in. So now, when you sell your product into China, you pay tax. When they sell their product into us, they don't pay tax. Now, it's not supposed to be that way. It's supposed to be free trade. That's not free trade. I have a friend that bought something, and he was unable to sell it into China. They had a 72% tax. I have another friend who builds boats, ships, big ones, pretty big ones. He can't do business because China won't take his stuff. And it's good, high quality. And they want big taxes. And it doesn't work that way. It's a one-way street. So we're going to change it very rapidly. But it's a combination of both, and many other countries. It's unfair. Unfair to people in Ohio, unfair to people in North Carolina, and all these other places. They're getting killed. It's not going to happen if I win, believe me. We're not going to have trade wars. We're going to have a very solid, we'll probably have a better relationship with those countries than we do now. We don't even have a good relationship. You look at China, they're building this massive fortress in the South China Sea, and yet they're making a fortune. So we're going to be in very good shape. I know exactly what to do.
Mr. Trump, mechanically, how do you intend to do that? I mean, working with Congress and others, and just knowing how D.C. works.
You have certain rights that you can do pretty quickly. It's not like a street where you have to get everything. You have certain rights when it comes to that, emergencies. But they're cheating. They're cheating, and we have people that don't do anything about it. But they're cheating bigly. And I have a friend who's a manufacturer, who's like a really great manufacturer. Can't get his product into China. He doesn't even think of it in terms of talking to me, but all of a sudden he's calling me saying, I can't do business with this people. I can't get the product in. And if I do get it in, they say, we want you to build plants. And they don't even want that. They want to give it to people from China. They don't even want them to build a plant, which is sort of surprising. They were actually beyond that. They want their people to build it. So it's very, very unfair. And I think you people are seeing that. Pretty much everyone agrees like that. Because I've been through this a lot with a lot of different people that are very, very good. Any other questions? Yes,
healthcare. What are we anticipating on doing about healthcare?
Well, Obamacare is a disaster.
It's killing our business.
It's killing it. Obamacare. Say it to the cameras because they just don't hear it.
When you get 17 to 20% increases every year for the last 5, 6 years, it doesn't add up.
You're lucky. 17 to 20, you're lucky. That's
We were
low.
quoted 94%.
17, you know, if you get 17%, I'm hearing 60, 70, 80% increase. And it's killing businesses, and it's absolutely killing businesses. The people had plans that they loved. Now they don't even have plans. They've given up. No, Obamacare has been a disaster for business and for people. And we're going to, as you know, terminate. We're going to be dealing with that.
Do we have a replacement?
Yeah,
for it?
we're going to have great replacement. We're going to have private, and then we're going to help people who can't afford, and we're going to help. There's nobody wants people dying in the street, that I can tell you. That's not going to happen, right?
Right.
Yes, sir. Mr. Trump, my name is Tom Hogue. I'm owner of a 60-person engineering firm. We build and engineer and design special process equipment. Setting aside policy for a second, the most difficult challenge that we probably had as business people over the last 7 years is the ability to plan, the uncertainty that surrounds tax code, regulation, trade agreements. Could you comment on your thoughts of timing of potentially the economy start to get the confidence and the stability? So taxes are too high and the regulations are worse than the taxes. The thing that most surprised me going around meeting big business and small business is, you know, here we're going from 35 down to 15% for business. And we're simplifying the code. But people are more excited about the fact that we're going to be cutting regulations bigly. Actually more excited. You know, you'd think a tax decrease like that would be like something great, and it is. They're more excited about cutting regulations. And if you would have told me that, I wouldn't have believed it. I don't mean like 50%, I mean like almost 100%. The regulations are putting businesses just out of business. And they're putting small businesses worse than ever. And big business. The small business, they're going out of business. And they can't start new businesses. So we're going to be cutting massively regulations. Now, we want them from a safety standpoint, and we want them from an environmental standpoint. But that's become a major industry, creating regulations. Instead of putting, I'm sure you have a tremendous problem. It's a big issue. You guys are seeing it, right? You see it? Yeah. The regulations. So too much. So we're going to be doing big things. It's going to have a huge impact on business. Yes, sir.
Could you speak to your perception of the debt and what it does to our national security?
You're talking about the 20 trillion?
Remember when President Obama said it was
trillion.
unpatriotic to add 4 trillion and he's had it 10 trillion?
All words. All words. And the country's in bad shape. You know, we have 20 trillion and the roads were beautiful, the bridges were, we haven't done any of this stuff yet.
Right.
We have $20 trillion and our infrastructure is a mess, worse than it's ever been. So it's a big problem. Energy is going to help. New business is going to help. We're going to get $2.5 trillion back, or maybe $5 trillion. You know, the money that companies are actually leaving to get their money. They're leaving because taxes are too high. They're leaving our country, and they're also leaving to get their money. You know, they call it $2.5 trillion outside. They can't bring it in because the bureaucracy is too big and the taxes are too high. We're going to make that very easy to come in. That's a lot of money coming in. So we're going to get the debt down. We're going to reduce it.
Mr. Trump, one of the problems we face with small manufacturing is getting the right skill set, as Angela mentioned. Once we bring back more jobs and get the trade deal straightened out and have fair trade, what are your thoughts on getting younger people energized to get into manufacturing, which basically has a very negative connotation as a career path?
I think negative because they've been treated so bad. I think ultimately it's a very positive. But a lot of people would like to be doing that, but they don't know. We're going to have to train people. And we'll be able to do that. Once the jobs are there, it's going to be beautiful because people are going to set up schools. You're going to maybe set up your own schools. You're going to train people to do the kind of work that I was just witnessing before, which is, I mean, these are really skilled people, and you're going to train people. But that's a good problem, not a bad problem.
Right, exactly.
You know, when you have the business, you're going to be able to train people. Right now, you don't want to train people because you don't have the business. And your business is being so badly hurt by China, by Vietnam, by Mexico, by all of these countries. So that's going to be a very good problem there. All right, how about one or two more?
Yeah, Mr.
Yes, go ahead.
During the first Gulf War, there were weapon systems that we couldn't use because of government regulations. Right now, to be called an American weapon system, you only have to have 50% input. We've talked about making that 80%. And what happened
When
during
you
the
say
first...
input, you mean made in...
Made in the United States. What happened during the first Gulf War was the JDAM bomb. We couldn't use that weapon system because the Swiss industrialist says, I don't agree with your politics. So when it comes to our national security, shouldn't we make sure that our manufacturing, that we can produce everything we need to keep our country safe?
I like that. I think it's good. I like that very much. I think for us to be subject to some foreign country that doesn't agree with us, I like that very much. A couple of people have brought that up. Yeah, I'm with you. Okay, go ahead, Al.
Yeah, I'm the owner of Superion Incorporated, and our products are manufactured on CNC machines that require 7, 8, and 9 axis of movement. So very sophisticated programming. I have no choice but
What
to...
kind of machines are they?
They're tool and cutter grinders and electrical discharge machines that have the ability to completely manufacture hard metal cutting tools in a single set. These are all very highly specialized tools for aerospace and the automotive industry. I have no choice but to train these people, because even if I hire people from other manufacturing firms that have 4 or 5 axis machines, it still takes me on an average of 3 to 5 years to train people, and an expense on an average of $30,000 a year. I guess the bottom line is that you had mentioned, on immigration, that you would welcome and love, or rather you would want people that love America to be able to come into our country. Well, 2 years ago I hired a Singapore citizen who is brilliant. He's added a lot of terrific brain power to our organization and has helped to accelerate some of that internal growth and development that we have. But it has been the regulations and the time, the expense to bring somebody into our country illegally for a small manufacturer is devastating.
So you're working very hard to keep him here?
Oh yeah, he's got a wife and 2 girls. He wants those girls to get educated.
Process and complicated. Right? Very expensive and very complicated.
Yeah.
We want that. We want stars coming into our country. We want people of great talent and ability coming in. And I want people to come into our country legally. And we're going to be cutting the red tape bigly. Bigly. Other people just walk across the border. I mean, they just come in. And then when you have somebody like you're talking about, you can't get them. Okay? You tell me, how crazy is it? We want people to come into our country. They come in legally. And we want to cut it down, but we want great people. We want people that can love our country, can help our country. Okay? You'll be very happy.
Good.
Yeah, go ahead.
Quick question on, you mentioned infrastructure long ago, but one of the things, this is a very automotive-centric region as well as aerospace, Wright Brothers and the Air Force.
Right.
The infrastructure associated with driverless cars and compressed natural gas is an energy source that's environmentally friendly, but there's components that could be made right here to support.
What do you think of driverless cars, by the way?
I think it could be safer. It could be because it's that human element. How you get it for safer. I think congestion and the programming.
Safer or catastrophic? I've seen some things
Well,
that are
I think the
bad.
high tech aspect of it, just like the aerospace. I mean, it's very high tech, and I think that could be worked into the.
So but you like the future of driverless?
Correct.
Does everybody agree?
Yeah. Eventually.
Look, okay, Jim, I'm with you. I'm not sure. Honestly, I'm not. Sort of a weird thing to look over and there's nobody in the car. Right? Isn't it a little weird? Concerning. A little bit, yeah. It's concerning.
It is a compressed natural gas.
Yeah, no, it's
Powerful.
right. Well, look, we want. So, what is your question?
So the infrastructure support from the federal government to be able to keep growing in the high tech jobs.
So we have to help you. That's so important. That's what it's all about. If you look at these other countries, what they do, we're going to help you. We're going to make it easier. And again, maybe the biggest way we can make it easier is the cutting of the red tape. so that you can have the people that you need, et cetera, et cetera. The cutting of the red tape is so important. That's how we're going to help you most. We're going to be able to do everything else. But we have to make it easy for them. And we make it impossible. There are companies that I've been watching in different fields, energy in particular. I mean, they can't compete. They can't compete. They go out of business. Energy. Who ever heard of energy companies going out of business? They're going out of business. And it's all because of the red tape. Thank you. Thank you all very much. Go ahead.
One question. Many of the issues are complicated. There's no
Right.
question about that.
Not that complicated.
But there are answers. Getting things done is complex. And could you tell us just a little bit about your leadership style? When you're president, how can you get things done in an environment like DC or even worldwide?
But you know, it's been so bad and it's so gridlock that I actually think they're going to come along and do it because they look so bad. Congress right now looks so bad. Nothing gets done. And you have a president that just keeps signing executive orders. Nothing gets done. I think they're going to come along really well with the right leader. Really well. I think it's going to be much easier than people think. There's a lot of pressure on them. Because they haven't done anything. Yes.
Real quick, follow up on that is what do you do about the lobbyists in Washington? How do you cut that out? That's the biggest problem in Washington. They work for somebody else.
They have total power
Right.
over our politicians. And all they care about is the company or the person. They don't care about our country. And it's very unfair. I talk about it all the time. I want to thank you all very much.